Hey friends, it's Belle, and welcome back to another episode of In the Pursuit of Being Wild and Free. I'm excited to record this podcast and slightly nervous because I think this will be one of my more controversial podcasts. If you follow me on wonderingbelle.com, it's my travel website that I post tips and tricks, especially for solo travelers, and kind of have a section on my website that is called Travel Lessons. And I actually just posted this on my website. And it's a topic that I absolutely hate. It's actually a type of podcast, a type of medium, which is true crime. I hate it. I hate every podcast when it comes to true crime, as well as documentaries and things, anything that is true crime related. Now, don't get me wrong, I love solving a mystery. I love problem solving. And true crime has a lot of that, right? You take out the clues that's presented to you in the podcast or in the documentary, and you figure out who did it. That is all fine and dandy. What I hate about it is the fear mongering of traveling. Fun fact, actually not so fun at the same time, between 70, and I'm going to bring this up to make sure I'm quoting correctly. Yes, the reality of violent crimes when it comes to any type of violent crime, between 73 to 79% of people who are injured are from people they actually know, whether that's partners, family, friends, people they actually know. And the reason why I hate true crime is I've been a subject to a lot of my friends, and I love them because they do care about me, but there's so much fear mongering when it comes to traveling or being a girl in general. Like, every day we're told that, hey, a guy can do it, he's an adventurer. If a guy does it, he's an athlete. If a guy does it, he's awesome. If a girl does it, she's gonna get raped or killed. If she becomes an athlete, no, this is a male dominate thing. And we constantly get degraded and downgraded as females. And the issue that I have with that, with solo traveling, is years and years and years ago, when I first solo traveled, this is 15 plus years ago, I had a mom who asked me, just tell me when you get to Canada and just keep in check with me. And then I had an aunt who helped me find a hostel. Not one time did someone say I was going to get kidnapped or taken or going to be sold or bad things are going to happen to me, right? But now, more than ever, because the movies are taken and others, we're driving that fear, right? And don't get me wrong, take safety precautions. That's an obvious thing, right? Be safe. Walk the streets safely. Make sure you're looking at your surroundings, making sure you don't take a drink from a stranger. When you walk away, don't finish your drink when you come back. Those are obvious things, right? Very obvious things that everyone needs to do, right? But I'm not going to make a little safety box that has all my bank accounts and all my passwords locked up. And if I go missing, that law enforcement can come into my house and unlock this box and find everything about me. I think that takes it a little too extreme. And I have my own protocol, which I won't directly say on this medium because, again, safety. But I have my own protocol when it comes to traveling and when I give updates. and when I share things. And family and friends know that protocol, right? But I'm not going to live my life in fear. And I think more than ever, people like to live in fear instead of living in the moment or living a more positive life. Like, I've been on trips, literally been on trips with the people, and I was scared for my life. I remember when I was in Paris, went with somebody. We were together for 13 days, 4 countries. It was, we went to France, Netherlands, Italy, and Vatican City. And we knew each other for years. Years. We went to college. And on the first night, and I apologize, this is going to be a little graphic, but like on the first night, something switched in that person. And I even said, like, hey, like, I took a bad picture of you in Snapchat. How do I fix this? Because I didn't know how the fuck to use Snapchat back then. And they ended up flipping out on me, threatened to kill me, threatened to kick my ass, called me a whore, a slut, no one likes me, everything. There was a bottle of champagne that I bought, and they knocked it off the bench, hit my foot, didn't break, and then I walked away. And I was sitting right in front of the Eiffel Tower, and I still remember this vividly. And other people were around, and it's like a nice, cute, romantic moment. And I had my phone out, and I wanted to text and vent to a friend of mine. But something internally, deep down, again, building that trust with yourself, building that relationship with oneself, told me, don't, just put your phone down. And I did. And thank God I did, because that person was right behind me and started to scream at me and then told me I'm the problem because I'm yelling. And I was talking like this, right? And she's screaming, telling me I'm ruining everyone's dates and all this stuff. That was our first night in Paris, day 1. And throughout the entire trip, it was this very back and forth way. And I should have left, 100%. But I didn't know better, right? And that trip really solidified. I just don't like traveling with people, which is going to be a different podcast episode. But I was scared. And I was traveling with someone I knew. There's been hundreds of other travels I've been with that I was solo, and never once was I scared for my safety. Again, I take precautions. When I'm camping, I do things a little bit differently. Again, keeping it safe. I'm not going to tell what I do, but there's certain things I am more scared, to be quite honest, of animals when I'm traveling solo than humans, because every person I have ran into or met along the way have nothing been nice. Maybe a little weird, maybe a little off. But then again, having that deep internal intuition I have, when something felt off, I just moved on. And so there's been times, parts of my life, that I actually had to put my friends on an informational diet because I was just so tired of getting inundated. Well, please text us every single day. Give us an hourly update. I remember, this is not solo traveling, but I remember I was dating a guy, and we were like, I think 2 months in our relationship, or at least like 6 weeks, almost 2 months in our relationship. And obviously he has stayed at my house how many times. And my friend goes, because I told her we were hiking in the local area around here. She said, take a picture of his license plate since you're hiking with him. And I'm like, we've been dating for almost 2 months. If he wanted to kill me by now, he was been in my house. And I'm like, no. And again, I get the safety perspective on it. But at the same time, is that fear mongering? And so I put people, family, friends, on an informational diet. Or I don't tell people all my stories when I return because I don't want to hear like, you shouldn't have done that and blah, blah, blah. When again, I am the one who has this intuition, who will listen to her intuition and make sure I don't do something, right? And like, yes, you can prepare all you want, and sometimes your intuition's wrong, but most of the time it's actually accurate, especially when you get to know yourself. Again, listen to the other podcast prior to this one. But there's been times that my friends didn't know I was leaving the country until I returned. Or they didn't know I was going out west, going camping, or whatever the case may be, because I was just so overwhelmed. And this kind of breaks my heart because thankfully I am stubborn. Thankfully I've developed that relationship with myself. But when you're brand new into solo traveling, like when I was doing research for the story I posted on my website on wonderingbell.com, I typed in like true crime podcasts ruin solo traveling, and there was a girl who put something on Reddit and said, I watch all these true crime documentaries and listen to podcasts. I love it, but I'm so scared to travel. And part of me felt really bad for her, and part of me didn't at the same time. Because, again, why are you allowing that fear to stop you? Again, take the right... I'm not being naive. I'm not dismissing. Take the right safety precautions. Why are you allowing a podcast to stop you? Or a documentary, or a friend, or a random stranger, right? And so I was reading through the comments, and people were like, well, I like true crime, but I'm not going to allow that to interfere with my lifestyle, right? Or there's other people who take my stance too, who we just don't like it. And I think people like to live in fear. I think society, we like to live into fear. Because I think fear is a way to control. And when you can control something, and I'm saying this from someone who likes to try to control everything, but when you can control something or someone or whatever, you feel like you're powerful, right? And it's because it's stemming from fear, and fear is a very powerful tool, right? And fear is good. Like, fear can be good. It builds that intuition, right? Like, if I'm walking down the street and I make a right, or do I make a left, and something's telling me like, don't make a left, like, no, there is good fear. But when we weaponize fear, when we put all this, you must do this, before you go solo traveling, or before you go through a through hike, or before you do anything, it really kind of pushes people away from that type of lifestyle, and it also makes people feel like they can't do it. And that's what I have an issue. It's like a lot of these true crimes, again, the statistics are shown, especially from the FBI, and I'm gonna look over here because I want to quote this correctly. This data was tracked by the agencies like FBI and the Bureau of Justice Statistics, that shows that, again, 73 to 79% of violent crimes are people that you already know. And I can give you a quick case. Gabby Petito, that van life girl, she was killed by her fiance. And there's so many more, right? So, like, I think I'd rather take my chances being solo than, again, dealing with a person who threatened to kill me in Paris over a bad Snapchat. Who also yelled at me in Amsterdam when they got super sick and they threw up on the floor of the hotel room. And then I cleaned it up. But I was a terrible human being because I was gagging. Again, never once did I have a bad experience when I was solo traveling. I also, going back to, like, just solo traveling in general, like, when we're talking about how to be safe and still have experiences, like, I keep going back to, like, new people, right? If I had all this information back, in the early 2000s or, like, 2010 area, thankfully, I grew a tough skin and kind of dismissed, or, again, informational diet, do selective listening. But you have to, again, it goes back to building that trust and building up to a full-fledged solo traveling. Go take yourself on a date first. Go somewhere new. You don't have to do an overnight trip. You can go somewhere for a couple hours, right? And, like, buy the right gear if you're going camping. Like, get a beacon, a satellite beacon, or a GPS tracker. If you're going in the back wilderness, that is good safety. You don't need a satellite tracker if you're just going to a city right next door where you live, right? So make it make sense, right? And also, sometimes it is okay to put your friends on an informational diet. It is okay not to tell everyone. And then just deal with the consequences afterwards and just say, hey, you know what? I just don't feel comfortable right now. And it's funny, sometimes the people who care about us the most do generally care and do generally want you to be safe, but they add pressure onto us, an undue pressure. And it's already, traveling and living life is already hard enough. Logistics, airlines, weather, money, you name it, right? Why add another hurdle to jump over, right? And so if you are new, and again, this whole podcast is to really target at newer solo travelers, or people who have been doing this for a little bit but want to grow their solo traveling. It is okay to tell your friends and family, I love you and thank you, but just stop. Find a way to do your own safety protocol when traveling and be okay with that. You don't need to go to all these extremes. And for those, if you want to do it, that is fine. But I'm telling you right now, living in paranoia while trying to travel and always looking over your shoulder, and like the same person I mentioned on Reddit, right? Like, said, oh, I Googled this place and I won't be out after night, and it was a safe place. Like, a lot of people are like, oh, I've been to this place, it's not that bad, like, you can be out. Again, take the right safety precautions. Download your map on your phone, or pop into a cafe really fast, if you need to look something up versus just standing on the street, right? My biggest thing that I like to do is be a person who lives in that city or that town versus a tourist. Act like you live there. Because that will make you, I don't want to say less of a target because I hate using that language, but it will make you feel a little bit safer. So when I need to look at something, I always pull into somewhere else, right? Be a local. Just be a local. But I think we need to stop pushing this notion that everything and everyone and everything is coming to get you and try to kill you and all this stuff. Life happens, shit does happen. Even when you're the most prepared, stuff still happens. And that is part of life. But this whole fear mongering, it still breaks my heart. It still really breaks my heart. One more quick story. I was in Budapest and somehow I got roped into leading this pub crawl. Again, never been to Budapest. And these young kids, I'm pretty sure they were Danish. And they were like barely 21. Said to me, "Wait, you're here solo?" And I said, "Yeah." And they go, "Aren't you afraid you're gonna be that girl from that movie Taken?" And I'm like, I've been solo traveling for almost as long as you've been alive, number one. And number two, no. And again, these were young boys, young guys saying this stuff to a female. But we don't say this to a guy. No one does that. And it frustrates me that it is okay for other people to tell us, well, are you sure you don't want, like, are you sure you want to be by yourself? Like, look what happened to this girl. Look what happened to that girl. But we don't say that to guys. And so, yeah, I fucking hate true crime. I think it's fun to solve mysteries. And if you want to solve a mystery, maybe we can solve the mystery of fear-mongering in this country. Because if you go to other countries, it is actually expanded to be, hey, go outside, go play, do things solo. Here in America, there's a stigmatism about solo traveling or van life or any of these different types of lifestyles. And so if you want to solve a mystery, maybe we can solve this one. Because we need more people to explore. We need more people to get out there. That traveling will always be your best education. Will always be the best education. Getting out of your hometown and experiencing new things is biases, but the way to live life. You don't want to live a small life. We live in this gigantic life that gives us oceans, mountains, vaccines, airplanes, fucking AI. Life is big. Why not enjoy it? Why not experience it? Instead of saying, ooh, I can't go to that country. Ooh, I can't go to that state. Ooh, I can't do this. I can't. And you're right, you can't. It's because you have said you can't. Society has said we can't. So why not buck society norms and buck true crime? Just go. Just go. But yeah, I hate it. Hate true crime. Hate documentaries. Hate Dateline. Grew up watching it. And I don't know. That's my take right now. So hopefully you either agreed or you did not, and let me know in the comments, because I do want to hear your take. This is a very controversial take amongst the solo traveling community as well as the through hike community, and those who don't do those kind of things. And yeah, and I know we're all tired of this dumping of fear and paranoia and so much information being said. We have to do this and we have to do that, and you need to follow this and you need to follow that. You don't need to do anything. Remember that. You don't need to listen to me. Plain and simple. You have to build your own trust, your own relationship, and what makes you feel comfortable. But don't limit yourself. Please, just go out. Let's go on an adventure, shall we? Enjoy.